I almost said Netflix authors. Did that make any sense? I hope it did. I hope editing me can figure this out. Oh, I really hope editing me is keeping up with this because current me is not. Editing me is not gonna have a lot of fun doing this because editing me never does. Hey guys, so I am back today with one of my favorite things to film, and that is guessing my Goodreads ratings from a specific year. I think that's what I call it. I don't remember exactly what I called it. Basically, the idea is that I go into Tiermaker with all the books I read in a specific year, and I try to remember what I rated them. Usually, this turns out like semi-okay. This serves absolutely no purpose other than to entertain me because I think it's really funny to see if I remember whether or not I liked a book and how much I liked a book. I've gotten like decently good scores so far. I like mostly remember what I rated something as opposed to not. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to go through my 2016 books now because I've done 2014 and I've done 2015, and 2016 was not as big of a year for me reading wise, so I think it'll be easier for me to guess. But at the same time, because I didn't read as much, I feel like I may have been a little more skewed, whether that's positively or negatively, in what I read and how I rated it. So we're gonna go test that theory. I am going to start screen recording on my laptop and we are going to take a look at my books for that year and see if I know what I rated them. Okay, so I have Tiermaker pulled up and I'm going to be going through each of my books, and then once I'm done with ranking them here, we're going to go into Goodreads and see if I got my ratings correct. The first one is Beautiful Chaos. I don't remember if this is the second or third book in the Beautiful Creatures series. I also never finished the series now that I'm thinking about it. I'm surprised that I got through more than just the first book. I remember really not liking the first book, but I'm going to say I know one of them I liked more than the other, and I'm going to say it was Beautiful Chaos. I'm going to say I gave it a 4 stars, and then Beautiful Darkness I think is the second book, and I'm going to say I gave it 3 stars. I don't remember. We have Broken Dolls, which is a book I got off NetGalley, and I didn't really like this. I think I gave it 3 stars. I just didn't really like the writing, and I didn't really understand the story either, so it was okay, but it wasn't the best thing I'd read, and apparently there's a couple of sequels, and I just never continued on with it because I didn't really care about the characters, so yeah. Oh, this is when I read City of Bones and City of Ashes. Okay, I will admit, I did illegally download these. Don't do that, but I was in Hong Kong and I didn't want to pay for the actual copies of the book, so I illegally downloaded them. Do not do that. I don't do that anymore. I pay for my books legally. Don't download them. I'm pretty sure I gave both of them 3 stars. I might have been a little more generous. They were okay. I have not continued on in the series, but I don't remember. It's not that I didn't like them, but it's not that I didn't dislike them either. I just felt very meh about them. So I think 3 stars is roughly what I would have given them. At the very most 4 stars, but I don't know why I would. So we're gonna go with 3 stars. Cold Moon is the third book to the Huntress trilogy, the Moon trilogy. I don't remember what it's called. I couldn't remember the order of the first 2 books in my previous video, and this is the third book. I don't know that it needed a third book, honestly. I think it could have done with just 2, but I'm gonna say it got 4 stars because I remember it being pretty decent. It also isn't done after the third book. There was a 4th one that I never read, but I think it could have ended with 2 because honestly, that's kind of where the story was done with. I don't actually remember anything about the plot for the third one. Don't Say a Word. I'm pretty sure this got 5 stars because I like Jennifer Jane's work, and she's one of the I almost said Netflix authors. She's one of the NetGalley authors that I still keep up with now, even though I think I'm a couple books behind on what she's released. I still keep up with most of her work now. Everything by Nicola Yoon. I love this book. This is such a good book. Okay, this is one of those books that I'm really mad about because I got the e-arc of it from NetGalley, and it was really easy for me to get it. Like, I think I got auto approved for it or something. I got it and then I didn't read it before it was released, and then people were talking about it and I was like, wait, I have an arc of that and I should have read this. I wanted to be one of those people that talked about it right when it was released and like was on the hype train, but no, I was like a couple months late. But I love this book. Nicola Yoon can do me no wrong. I love this book. I love her other book, The Sun Is Also a Star, and I'm really excited for her third book, which I can't remember the title of right now, but I'm really excited for that because I'm sure it's going to be beautiful as well. Fairest by Marissa Meyer. I want to say I gave this a 4.5 stars, so I'm going to put it in the 4-star tier because I don't think I gave it a full 5 stars. I remember liking it because I liked having Lavana's backstory, but I don't remember loving it. I think I liked it more because of the backstory and because of the writing than because of the characters in the story. Hair in All the Wrong Places. This was a book that the author reached out to me about reading. He sent me an e-arc and I read it. It wasn't bad. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was kind of cheesy for my taste. It's about a werewolf, or about a young boy turning into a werewolf, kind of like Teen Wolf, and figuring out what's going on in his town. And he has a mysterious uncle, I think, that shows up. This is basically like Teen Wolf, except the uncle is not Scott's uncle, it's Derek's uncle. But there's like all these weird things going on and there's more supernatural creatures in his town than he realizes, which the more I'm talking about this book, the more I'm thinking that this was literally inspired by the original Teen Wolf movie and has some parallels to the Teen Wolf TV show, which was also inspired by the movie. Anyways, Heir of Fire. Oh, this book took me so long to read because I had started college at this point. I want to say Heir of Fire got 5 stars because this was the last book that I remember loving, and this is the book that introduces Rowan, isn't it? Yeah, everything went downhill from there because I don't like Rowan. Okay. Oh, I have the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. Wait, why do I only have 2 books here? Did I not read all 3 of them back to back? Okay, I guess I didn't read all of them back to back. I want to say the second book got 5 stars because I like who she's with in the second book. He was of the 3 love interests, he was my favorite. And I'm gonna say Will Always Have Summer got 4 stars because I don't like who she ultimately ended up with, and I'm petty like that, so I probably took off a star because of that. I could have sworn that I read these books back to back, but I guess I didn't, because did I read them in 2015 then? Man, I don't remember. Lola and the Boy Next Door. I think that got 5 stars from me. I liked this a lot. I still have to read Island Happily Ever After. It's actually one of the books I'm trying to read this year because it's been so, like, I haven't read this since 2016. It's 2021. It's been 5 years. I don't remember pretty much. Well, I remember bits and pieces enough to continue on with the series. All I know is that the last book is focused on Isla and Josh. And last I heard, Josh had a girlfriend in the book. I'm not sure anymore, but I need to just finish that and be done with the trilogy because at this point I feel like I need to be done with it. Looking Backward by Edward Bellamy. How to describe this book and how much I don't like it. I had to read this for a history class and I hated the book. I never finished it and I had to write a paper on it, I believe, or something. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. Nothing about the book made any sense to me because I'm pretty sure the whole thing was like, oh, and then it was a dream, but then it wasn't a dream, but then he woke up from another I don't remember. I don't know. I want to say I gave this 1 star, but I could have given it 2 stars. I'm gonna say 1 star though because that's what I think of it now. I feel like, am I being really mean? I feel like I'm being really mean in this video as opposed to the other ones. Lost Girls by Angela Merson's. Pretty sure this is a 5-star book. This is the last of Angela Merson's books that I kept up with. I'm really behind on her work. I think she's up to book 11 or 12 now and I've only read the first 3 and I really need to catch up on this series, but I think this is the last one that I read. Only Reviewers. I did not like this. I'm gonna say I gave it 2 stars. I don't think I gave it 1 star. This is basically a YA version of The Handmaid's Tale. I haven't read The Handmaid's Tale, so I don't really know how it compares, but I just didn't like how the story was written. Nothing about anything made any sense. The romance really didn't make any sense at all, and it has really good reviews on ratings. It has really good reviews on Goodreads, but I just really didn't like it. Rise, I want to say I gave this 2 stars as well because I read the last bit of that book. The last like 100 pages I think I read in like 15 or 20 minutes because I was just speeding through the end. Nothing about this trilogy makes any sense either. It started off pretty okay, but then the ending, like the more it progressed, the more things didn't make any sense and the more I just really didn't like or care about any of the characters. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I gave 2 stars. The Accident Season. I know that this was a book that went around a little bit on Goodreads. I know that people on BookTube were talking about this book for a bit. It was like one of the most hyped books for the summer, I believe. It was okay. It was 3 stars. The whole premise is that this girl is part of a family that's really accident prone, and I think it's revolving around a certain time of the year. People in her family tend to get really severely hurt and or die during that time of year, and I don't remember why that is, but it does have some kind of like supernatural reason, and I don't think I was satisfied with what the reason was. I don't think it made a lot of sense to me. I don't remember what the reason was, but I remember not really liking it. Also, I think she is in love with her stepbrother, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I remember there was a romance of two people who were like related but not really. I think it was her stepbrother. They were like best friends at first, and then their parents got married, and then they became step siblings, but they've always been in love with each other or something. It was weird. I didn't like it, but I think I gave it 3 stars just because most of it was interesting, except for the ending, and the romance grossed me out. An amazing book. Wait, did Tabanoff come out in 2016? I know I gave this 5 stars. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up really quickly. Okay, it came out in 2015. That's what I thought. I didn't think it was 2016 because I'm pretty sure I ordered it for myself as a Christmas present, and it took a while for me to get it. That's why I got it in 2016 and read it in 2016. But obviously it's a 5 out of 5 stars. I love Dan and Phil so much, and they're still one of those channels that like when I'm having a bad day or if I'm just having a really off time, I just go back and rewatch their old videos because it just makes me a lot happier. So Tabanoff, definitely a 5-star read. It's also one of those books that, because I have the audiobook, sometimes when I can't sleep or just, again, having a really bad day, I just put it on and I just listen to it. So I've listened to and read the book actually many times. I think I've listened to it well over 10 or 12 times now, but I don't ever count it, not really, because it's kind of unfair to count the number of times I've reread this book, sometimes in the same year. Yeah, it's just one of those books that I love a lot because I love them. The Assassin's Blade. I'm pretty sure this got 5 stars. I really like The Assassin's Blade. I don't think it's one of those books, because it's the collection of short stories in between book 3 and 4, I believe, is when it was published. I don't remember exactly. I do think it's one of those books you should read in order of publication as opposed to before, because we learn a lot about Sam in this book, and I feel like meeting him before reading Throne of Glass kind of not spoils things, but just kind of dampens how much he means to her, kind of, if that makes any sense. I think reading it in order of publication kind of builds on what we know of their connection already before we end up talking about like how they met and how they started dating and stuff like that. Is that a spoiler? I don't think so. People know this, right? People know about Sam? The Extraordinary Journey of Vivian Marshall by Shannon Kirk. I want to say I gave this 4.5 stars. I was sent this as an ARC from Shannon Kirk, and it's actually the first ARC that I ever got. I reviewed her other book, Method 1533, in 2015, and up until like moving my blog, that review was my most like looked at review on my old blog. It had like over 500 clicks or something, and Shannon Kirk was really nice. She reached out to me after that, and she asked if I wanted a physical ARC of this book, and she sent it to me. She signed it. I was in Hong Kong at the time, but she sent it to me, and it was really sweet of her, and I read it. It was pretty good. I don't think I liked it as much because I had already read The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, but this is kind of along those lines. It's one of those things, like, it's a hard concept to pull off, and I think Shannon Kirk did a good job, but I don't think it was as good. Still, I liked it enough, I think, to give it at least a 4.5 stars, so I'm gonna put it in the 4-star tier. Cherry Pie Island. This was a cute romance. I actually liked it because I think the premise was this woman trying to help start a bakery, or she's trying to start a bakery on her own. I think at some point there's a storm and a tree crashes into the bakery that she's supposed to be building or something like that, and obviously there's a guy and there's romance and whatever. She gets her cafe in the end, or bakery or whatever. I think that's what it's about, and I'm assuming there's something to do with cherry pie. I'm gonna say I gave this 4 stars because I don't think it was a 5-star book. I rarely like romances enough to give it 5 stars, so I'm gonna say it was a 4-star book. The Little Prince. I read this, I think this is my first book of the year. I know I gave it 5 stars. I read this because the movie had just come out, and one of my really good friends loves this book, so I read this book because of her, and then we went to watch the movie that same day, so I'm pretty sure I finished this like 10 minutes before the movie, so it was very fresh in my mind, and yeah, I liked it. I haven't reread it since then. It's also not with me. It's at my parents' house in Singapore, but yeah, I did read and like that book a lot. The Other Westmore. This was Common Core reading for my freshman year. I want to say I gave this 3 stars. That's a 2-star tier. 3 stars. I didn't like it all that much. It was fine. It was a book about 2 guys named Westmore who grew up not actually that far from each other, but they ended up living really different lives. And it was basically like the whole thing of, oh, if you like two people who share the same name went down different paths, like what are the odds, blah blah blah. It was fine. I didn't think much of it. I don't think it was as hard-hitting as they were expecting it to be, and I don't think most of the people I know who read it thought much of it. The Princess Bride, I think I gave The Princess Bride 5 stars because it was a book given to me by one of my best friends in high school, and I think I rated it highly more so because I was influenced by his love of the book than my own opinion of it. If I were to reread it now, I think I would give it a 4 stars because of the way the book ends, and also the fact that it takes a really long time to get to the actual story. Like, the movie and the book are different in the sense that you don't get as much from the movie, but it's fine because it actually makes it a little more entertaining. The first like 50 or 60 pages of the book are the backstory to the book, and it's just, yeah, it's a lot. And I think I would give it 4 stars now, but I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars at that point. The Return of the King. This took me forever. I remember, okay, this is one of those moments where I put off reading this book because it was just so long and I had so much left and I was just so done with it. I was so bored and I just put it off way longer than I should have. And then I picked it up one day and decided to actually sit down and finish it, and the book was over in like 50 pages. And then I remembered that half the book is the appendix. Like, the appendices take up half the book. And I don't understand why it took that long to like why the appendices are so long. And I was mad at myself for not remembering that until after I had, you know, put it off for so long. I could have easily finished it. I was literally only like 50 pages away from the end or something. I want to say I gave this 4 stars because I didn't like it that much. I don't think I ever gave any of the books 3 stars. I want to say I gave it 4 stars. The last star was taken off literally because I was so done with it at that point. So yeah, I think that's what it was. The Rose Society. Aw, I liked this book. I think I gave this 5 stars. I really liked The Rose Society. This is part of the Young Elites trilogy that Marie Lu wrote. Did I read that in 2015? I guess I did. I think I read these books as they came out. I think the last book is the only one that I rated lower, so I'm pretty sure I gave this 5 stars. The Secret History of Wonder Woman. I think I gave this 4 stars because I didn't entirely love it, but I didn't hate it. I didn't like it mostly because the guy who created Wonder Woman was really weird. Should I have rated it lower because I didn't like him and he's a real person? I don't think so. I don't remember what I rated this. I know a lot about the history of Wonder Woman because of this book. This was a book I chose and read for a class that I wrote a really long paper on. The first of many long papers in my college career. Yeah, I don't think I rated it entirely 5 stars. It was good. It's a very comprehensive history of Wonder Woman if you're interested in learning about that. But just be warned that the creator of Wonder Woman is a little weird. There's a movie about him too. It's like William Marston and his Wonder Woman or something. I don't remember what it's called, but it's weird. He's weird. Anyways, moving on to the last 2, I have War on the 13th, which is a kid's book. It's a middle grade. I think I gave this 5 stars. It's a middle grade graphic novel. A graphic novel illustrated story. I don't remember exactly what it is. I don't think it's entirely a graphic novel. I think it's an illustrated children's book or an illustrated middle grade book. And yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. I had a little bit of trouble with the formatting. I remember getting to read this, but once I figured that out, I really enjoyed the book and it was pretty interesting. I liked it a lot. I think it has a few more books. I think it's the first in a series, but I never continued on with it. I don't know why. It's not something I would probably read now, but I remember really enjoying it at that point. It wasn't something I loved enough to give 5 stars though, so 4 stars. And lastly, we have Winter, which is the last book in the Lunar Chronicles series, and I know I gave this 5 stars. It's still the longest book I've ever read, and I remember crying through the ending. I don't remember all of the ending because I cried so much that I couldn't see through the tears. That was a really good book. That was a really solid ending to the series, and I remember really liking it. I think only one of the books got a 4.5 stars or 4 stars. Everything else has a 5 stars. Well, except for, oh my gosh, where is it? Fairest. Yeah, it's right here. So yeah, that is all the books that I read that year. I think I only read 31 books that year. It's a lot less in comparison to most of my other years, pretty much. And yeah, I don't remember actually reading a lot of these books. I mean, it makes sense that I read them this year. I guess I had just thought that I read them earlier, but since they didn't show up in 2014 or 15, it makes sense that they showed up in 2016 because none of these I would have read in college. Okay, I had to move some of the videos off the SD card because I think it was getting a little too full. Hopefully things are going to work right now, and we're going to go into 2016 and view the books from then. If you don't know how to do this, you go into Goodreads, you go into my books, and at the top there's the thing, this is my stats, and it'll just take you right here. Okay, first thing I'm seeing is that I did not have any 2-star books, but we're gonna go bottom to top this time. We're gonna go from 1 to 5 stars. Firstly, I'm seeing that both Rise and Only Ever Yours are in the 1-star section, and I'm pretty sure, yep, I gave them both 2 stars. I thought I gave them 2 stars. I didn't think, yeah, that I gave them 1 star, but I guess I was wrong, so that we're starting that off with me getting things wrong and not knowing. Okay, so then I know that they never got, oh, you know what? That probably wasn't fair for me to put Looking Backward down in 1 star because I never finished it, so therefore I never rated it. Yeah, I just realized that. Okay, a little bit of a oopsie on my part there, but that's fine. Oh wait, no, I did rate it. Oh, I guess I just, wait. Oh, so I guess it just didn't show up earlier. It was loading and it didn't show up. Okay, so I guess the things I thought I rated 2 stars, I actually rated 1 star, and the one book that I thought I rated 1 star, I actually rated 2 stars. We're not starting this off very well at all. Man. Wow, okay, yeah, that was not off to a good start. But at least we have those books out of the way. Now we can go to the 3 stars. I gave Broken Dolls 3 stars, and I am right about that. I did give Broken Dolls 3 stars, and I gave the 2 Shadowhunter books 3 stars as well. I am also right about that. And let's see, I gave Hair in All the Wrong Places 3 stars. Did I say I gave that 4 stars? Yeah, I thought I gave that 4 stars, so I guess I was wrong about that. Huh, I thought I liked it a little more, but I guess I didn't. I mean, considering I don't really remember much about it. See, but like, oh wait, no, I had seen Teen Wolf at this point. I love Teen Wolf at this point. Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't like it as much, because I was also subconsciously comparing it to Teen Wolf at that point. And The Accident Season I gave 3 stars, which I got right. So I guess I rated the Beautiful Creatures books higher up on my list. Oh wait, no, this one is, hold on, I'm just realizing this is really tiny, so we're gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Oh, that looks like Beautiful Chaos. Is this book 2 or 3? Oh, so this is book 3. Oh, I guess I gotten it wrong, but I mixed up books 2 and 3. So book 2 I thought was book 3, and apparently I gave book 2 4 stars and book 3 3 stars. Yeah, yes, okay. Did that make any sense? I hope it did. I hope editing me can figure this out. We have Cold Moon, which I was right. I gave 3 stars because, like I said, I don't think it needed to have that 3rd book. Oh, It's Not Summer Without You has 4 stars. We're gonna see if this is a 4 star or a 4.5. Come on, let me click you. Okay, because I'm pretty sure the last one was a 4 star, and I think this one might have been a 4.5, but we're just gonna take a quick look. Yep, I was right. It's a 4.5 stars. Oh, I can't bring myself to give it 5 stars simply because Belly's annoying moments kept me from doing so, but hopefully the last one will change that. I guess it didn't, because the last one I'm pretty sure also just had 4 stars. No, that's not what I want. I don't think I gave it a 4.5 stars. Oh, it was a 4.5 star. Oh, so I guess this book never got any 5 stars from me. Huh, you think you know your own opinions, and it turns out you don't. So, okay, I'm going to count, let's see which one of these. I'm going to count Will Always Have Summer as correct because it's a 4.5 and I don't round up with these. So I'm gonna count that as correct, but I'm gonna count It's Not Summer Without You as incorrect because I thought I gave it 5 stars and I didn't. Oh, don't say a word. I guess this was a 4.5 stars too. Yeah, that was also a 4.5 stars, so I'm gonna count this as incorrect too. Yeah, 4.5 stars. It's not a 5 star. I know it's a little weird that I don't round up for it and I round down instead, but it's also because it's the 4 and the 0.5, so I'm going with what the first number is. That just makes it easier for me when it comes to editing, because if not, I have to make arbitrary decisions on whether I would count it as a 5-star book or not, but usually it's a safer bet for me to say that it's a 4-star book. Yeah, okay, we've moved around Beautiful Darkness. I was right about the Cherry Bakery whatever book. It was a 4-star book, so I got that right. Oh, I really hope editing me is keeping up with this because current me is not. Warren the 13th is a 4-star book. Yes, that is correct. I gave Westmore 4 stars? Huh, I guess I enjoyed that more than I thought I did. Being generous though, isn't it? I feel like, let's see, maybe this was a 3.5-star book that I rounded up. No, I just straight up gave it 4 stars. Huh, I think I still had, no, I think I donated that book. I still had it for a really long time because the bookstore wouldn't buy it back because they don't need it anymore. Yeah, neither neither do I, so I donated it. The Secret History of Wonder Woman, I gave 4 stars, and The Extraordinary Life of Vivian Marshall, I also gave 4 stars, which I think I'm right about for both. Yes, okay, I'm right about that. I gave Return of the King 5 stars. Interesting. Okay, yeah. So we have The Little Prince, which I know I gave 5 stars. Return of the King, which apparently I gave 5 stars. I gave Fairest 5 stars? This is a 4.5 star book. No, I just liked it enough that I gave 4.5. I did not think I would have given that 4.5 stars. I mean 5 stars. I thought I rated it lower. I thought I gave it a 4 star, but I guess I really enjoyed it. I know that the snippet of my review said I feel bad for enjoying Levana's Twisted Mind, and I still kind of feel bad for enjoying Levana's Twisted Mind because I know a lot of people have said that they don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it's necessary either. I think it's a little add-on. People who are interested in why Levana is the way she is, like I was. One of the things I do like about the book is that it doesn't excuse any of the behavior. You see why she is that way, but it doesn't mean that you like her for it, and I really appreciate how Marissa Meyer did that. So yeah, I guess I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I did. I didn't think I rated it that high. Winter obviously got 5 stars. The Amazing Book is Now on Fire got 5 stars. Lost Girls got 5 stars. I think I did put that in the right tier, right? These are all correct? Yes. Okay. Everything got 5 stars. Lola and the Boy Next Door, The Assassin's Blade, Princess Bride, and Heir of Fire are all in 5 stars. So I got all of those right. So most of my 5-star books were actually correct, except for I think Don't Say a Word and The Return of the King and Ferris. So those 3 I got wrong. They need to be switched in their order. But I think so I guess I know my 5-star books a lot better than I think I do. I think so far that's not really been the trend. I think in previous videos it's always been the 3 and 4-star books that I tend to get right more often than the 5-star books. I prefer having a lot more 5-star books, but since I did only read 31 books that year, I do think it makes sense that I don't have as many, but I'm glad to know that I got most of them right because at least I can still trust a lot of them. And this is also one of those cases where the 5-star books that I have here are books I would read again for the most part. I would 100% reread The Little Prince. I should probably reread Lord of the Rings at some point. I haven't read The Hobbit. I own it, but I haven't read it. I think it'd be interesting to read the series over again now that I'm older because I think I would have maybe a little more appreciation for it. I just didn't really like it that much because it's very heavy in exposition and I'm not really that kind of reader. The Rose Society I loved. Probably wouldn't reread because it's not my favorite Anne Marie Lou's works, but I did really enjoy that. I really want to reread the Lunar Chronicles at some point. There are a lot of books that I really want to reread. Hold on, I'm gonna stop the screen recording and we're gonna get to the outro of this before I continue rambling for absolutely no reason. Like I was saying, there are a lot of books that I would really like to reread, and a lot of them aren't here with me in the US, which is one of the reasons why I don't reread them, and it's one of the reasons why I have a very limited selection of books to show you guys and talk to you guys about when I am filming. I do wish that I had more of them with me. Once I get a job and once I have the money, it's something I want to ask my parents to do. I would really like to have them ship over my books. It's gonna be expensive because there's so many of them, and also because my sister and I have to kind of divide up which books are mine and which books are hers. But I would really like to have them with me because there are so many that as I'm filming these videos, I realize I really want to revisit and I have a lot of fond memories of. So I think some of these I will eventually be able to have with me. I don't know exactly how that's going to happen because I don't want to rebuy all of them. Like, I think it's good for me to support the author, but it's also a shame to have to repurchase a lot of these books. There are some that I probably want to repurchase just to keep them matching in the same editions. Like, I'm pretty sure my edition of Winter is the hardcover, but I have all the other books in paperback, I think. So yeah, anyways, that's just to say that I do really want to reread a lot of these books and I'm having a lot of fond memories as I go back through these videos. It's making me realize how much of my reading back then still sticks with me. But that is the end of this. I don't know what my final score is, but I'm sure you guys know because it's gonna pop back up here just to give you guys an idea again. I hope I got more right than I got wrong. I feel like I got more wrong than I got right, but you never know with these, and editing me is not going to have a lot of fun doing this because editing me never does. But I really enjoy filming these videos. I think it's really fun, like I said, to try and figure out what I thought of these books back then and now to see if my memory still serves me well. I highly recommend you doing this because I think it's a really fun thing to do, to just go back and try and guess some of your ratings. You might have different opinions now, and that's totally fine. But it's even entertaining for me to try and guess what old me would think and how I would rate it back then. And more often than not, I'm realizing that when I second guess myself, I shouldn't be second guessing myself, and yet I do it all the time anyways. Like, I just continue to second guess myself. But I should really learn to trust what I think older me would have given it, even though that didn't really serve me well in this video, so maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know if I can trust myself when it comes to these ratings. Anyways, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I got right and what I got wrong. I encourage you guys to do this too because I think it's a lot of fun, and I will see you in a new video next Saturday. Bye!